Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first Actual Play Academy. This is a pilot session here. New session that I'm putting together for some fantastic individuals like Jasper and Aaron here who are new to actual plays. Definitely plenty of gaming experience under their belts, but wanting a chance to get out there and maybe dive into another fantastic online session like we do here in the Bounce House. So thank you all for being here. Let's say hello to these wonderful people. Let's go next door to me. Jasper, say hello.
Hey, I'm Jasper. On Twitter as Jasper is writing. I'll be playing Titus, who is a half-orc monk, a Kensai.
Fantastic. Great to have you here. And then let's go below to Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm on Twitter as @Triggy42, and I will be playing Jhasda, who is a human paladin fighter multi-class.
Awesome. All right. And if you didn't guess by those descriptions there, we are playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Fun little adventure here to just kind of ease us into what an actual play is. So with that, I think we can just dive right in. So the two of you have been invited to a festival, a forest festival, halfling celebration that they have, and just a great time to celebrate a seasonal event for them, and whether through previous connections or maybe you did some work for them in the past, you were invited to this great party to just enjoy and have a good time here in the summer. There's lots of good food and drinking and games and all sorts of that, music and wonderful cheer as you come in. So as the two of you do enter in, adventuring partners, maybe up to this time, so knowing each other a little bit, but maybe a lot of the party goers aren't familiar with yourselves. So Aaron, as Jhasda comes in, go ahead and describe what the party goes see as Jhasda enters in.
So Jhasda is a tall woman wearing chainmail. She has sort of short red hair in a kind of undercut, and is very sort of has a multiple sunburned tan, and she has basically just her pack and then sort of a canvas wrapped up bundle full of pole arms strung over her back.
Okay. Yeah, maybe if some of the party tents need an extra post, you got it covered. All right, and next to you, Jasper, go ahead and tell us what we see as Titus enters into the party.
Titus, he's very tall, about 6.5 feet, completely bald, shaven, half-orc. He's wearing like very simple rags, almost like just brown clothes, robes, and strapped to his back is just a massive, really quite ugly looking sword, like serrated blade. Doesn't really match with the rest of him being very simple. Hung from his belt is also a hand crossbow. But other than that, he doesn't seem to have much on him. One small pouch on his right hip.
Fantastic. So, amongst this sea of halflings here, there's a few other individuals that are, outside of the halflings that would be at the party as well. But the two of you are definitely going to stand out. But everyone is very welcoming. As I said, probably know who the two of you are through previous connections and welcome you openly as you do. And eventually a squat little halfling, female halfling, comes forward and greets the both of you. Jhasda, Titus, it is so good to see you. I'm so glad you could make it to the party. How was your travel in?
Well,
It was.
We got lost a couple times, but it's a nice place you got here.
Well, sometimes I can understand the directions can be a little a little lacking, just come to the forest. The forest is a big place, but I'm glad you could find it.
I was happy for the diversion. The exploring the forest is why you go to the forest.
Indeed.
That's why I stay in the city. No offense, it is really pretty here.
She gives a bow to the both of you and kind of gestures a hand back to the party and says, "Well, so glad to have you both. Please make yourselves at home and enjoy. It's sure to be a wonderful night." Raises a large tankard of ale.
I
cheers.
I bow in return. If I have a tankard, I also raise it in response.
Jhasda just like nods and goes off to look for a tankard of ale.
Absolutely. Probably right there as you come in, see a large, colorful tent full of patrons there, and you can hear the clanking of tankards together and hitting the tabletops and whatnot, and maybe even smelling some of the hops and barley and other ingredients of the ale and things like that. So you're easily able to find that portion of the celebration there. With that as well, you see the other tents and areas that mark off some of the things going on, the music and the food and the fun and games, the party games that they have here. The halflings here in this festival put on a lot of great entertainment and activity options, all things that both of you are definitely invited to participate in as well if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, I beeline for the closest game. What's on offer?
Absolutely. So, Jhasda, you head and grab something to drink, and turn around. You see your counterpart is just kind of taken off, almost getting lost in the crowd, if not for, their stature over top of most everyone else. But you see a few things there, Titus. You have the archery contest. You see a bunch of individuals playing that right now. There is the where Jhasda is, there's a bar set up that says the brew chugging. And you also have the pumpkin hugging contest as well, a feat of strength.
I think Jhasda's immediately interested in the feat of strength thing. She sees that and is looking for a chance to show off.
Absolutely. And Titus?
Archery. We go straight for that and start with just looking at what weapons they're using. So if it's bows or crossbows or...
Yeah, all pretty much standard bow and arrows there for that as you head over there. So, Jhasda, we'll say that as you grab your fresh ale and you eye that pumpkin hugging, but you see that Titus takes off and say, well, I'm going to go see what he's up to, and then we'll come back and do some pumpkin hugging there. Maybe getting a little bit of the ale down to help invigorate yourself before that contest. So, Titus, you step up, and the officiant of the contest there, along with some of the other contestants, begins explaining the rules and how it goes down. So basically, each player has 5 arrows, and you'll shoot a target 100 feet away, and whoever has the best score at the end of the 5 rounds is the winner. So allows each contestant to step up. We'll say there's 2 other contestants here. Aaron, if you want, I'll allow you to be one of those contestants as well against here, and then I'll play the third. So basically, it will be a attack roll, so ranged attack roll, so dexterity there. And the roll determines kind of where you hit on that target, and then each one designates a certain number of points. So
what I'd like to do is persuade them to let me use my hand crossbow instead of their regular bow and arrow. So
yeah, so the halfling officiant there kind of looks and he eyes it up and down. He says, "We don't really, just for sake of fairness, we don't really allow outside things, but kind of hems and haws, waiting for an argument."
I'm gonna say, well, I'm an outside thing anyway. We're completely different physically, so using weapons is already different for us. I'm happy to let whoever I'm up against also use my hand crossbow, but I personally have no experience with a bow and arrow, so it wouldn't necessarily be fair.
One of the other contestants next to you just kind of like puffs out the chest and says, "Let him use it. He won't stand a chance anyway. I'm the best shot in these parts." Go ahead and give me a persuasion check to the officiant, though.
That's a 20. That's a 19
nice.
19 plus 1.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, you especially with this little bit of extra, chiding from the other contestant, the officiant, kind of shrugs and says, "Well, that's fine with me." Allows you to step up, and you can utilize that weapon for the game. So we head into round 1. So everyone can step up and take their shots. So basically, just make an attack roll, dexterity-based attack roll. So Jasper, assuming you have, you would have an attack roll for the crossbow. So
yeah.
Proficiency, that's the word I'm looking for. And Aaron, do you have? Does Jhasda have any dexterity-based, or I could just give you?
I know what it is.
Okay.
My dexterity.
So make a dexterity roll plus your proficiency modifier, which is 2, I think, right? Yeah, I think 2. So
that is an 8. So I think Jhasda, who does not have a hand crossbow.
And this is not Jhasda, this is an NPC that you're playing, by the way, but just using your stats as an example.
All right.
But,
then 8.
Okay. We'll narrate that one. So, you see this other player, this other contestant there, step up and knock the arrow, pull back, and let fly. And you can see it just kind of wobbles a little bit through the air, and isn't the best shot. It hits the target, but it's very far at the edge, getting only 2 points for the round out of that. Titus, what do you have?
So I pull my hand crossbow up, stand sideways, aim straight down, and I also use a bonus action, which doesn't really do a bunch, but to activate my Kensai shot, which increases damage, not accuracy, but for an 11 plus 4, 15.
15, okay.
Plus an extra d4 damage, just for showing off, I suppose.
Roll the d4. I'll be nice. Go ahead, and we'll add that to your roll.
1.
1? Okay, so what would you end up with? 16, I think?
16, yeah.
16, okay. That helps. It gets to the extra point level. So you see, knocking your crossbow, pulling that back and firing across. And this one looks pretty good. And it hits kind of in the mid-range, lower mid-range of the target ring there for 6 points for your first shot. But you see this other individual who, definitely some confidence, maybe some cockiness towards you, pull up and almost just, in the most fluid motion, pulls back and lets go. And the arrow just sails through, hitting closer than you did for 8 points on their first shot. And gives you a little bit of a look there, Titus, and says, "You got some catching up to do."
Well, I'm very fast.
And with that, the officiant signifies round 2. So everyone go ahead and make next roll.
That one is a 23.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. Okay.
Kensai shot again, so if we're doing the extra d4, then it's 13, not...
13?
Yeah.
Okay. And... all right. The contestant there that, definitely being a little boastful. Maybe that kind of bites him a little bit, because this time his confidence maybe is too much, and he goes and his arrow flutters through the air wobbly a little bit, and he strikes very edge of the target for only 3 points there. And just kind of like hangs his head in frustration. I'm waiting for the next round. Titus, you pull up the crossbow again, knock the arrow, and let that fly. And a little bit better than that other player, but not much for 4 points to you. Sitting on 10 points for the game so far. But the third individual that is just there for themselves and going on. Aaron, that was for 23, gets you 9 points. So almost the best that you can on the round there. So sitting at 11 on the round there. We're actually, let's see, 11, 11, and 10. So Titus, you're one behind the lead with Ty there. So the officiant says, all right, we're actually going to do, since it's so close, one more round, and that'll be the game there. So everyone knocks their arrows and lets it fly.
Natural 20.
Nice.
22.
22? Awesome. Okay, so 20. Okay. Dirty 22, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so get the totals here and see how this plays out. All right, so the one contestant who this time had been overconfident, seemingly, feels the pressure that, realizes, okay, maybe this half-orc does know. And really, actually, this other individual, is just not really paying attention to the others, to this contest back and forth, and just showing everyone up, but lets the arrow fly. And again, this very weak arrow goes and just barely catches the edge of the target for 2 points. And the officiant calls out the total for the round, just 13 points. Not the best there. And then goes over to Titus. And with a great shot, the arrow flies in, and it gets just to like the outer ring of towards the center there nearby for 8 points as that arrow hits. But in between you two, this third individual just pulls back, lets go of this arrow, and just bullseye, direct shot, super smooth, and hitting that bullseye target for 10 points. Officiant calls out 18 total points to you, Titus, and our winner with 21 points, and gives that over to this individual, this other halfling individual who came in. Gets a reward of this quiver of arrows, and is just super excited for that.
I violently applaud and cheer and go, well done, well done.
The individual comes over to you and says, "You did very good yourself. Those crossbows, they're not easy to utilize. Can you use these arrows? Are they pretty interchangeable?"
Unfortunately, these take bolts rather than
Bolts.
arrows.
Oh, that's the difference. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the offer, but you are the winner. You deserve the prize, and seemingly you put them to much better work than me.
Yes, I'll have to take it up. Really just took a chance at the game. So, but maybe another round later.
Maybe.
With that, there's a big, roar from the onlookers at this, mystery contestant who really put on a show. But the two of you are now able to head off and visit another event. And Jhasda, they're watching, seeing Titus unfortunately come up just short with the event, and then can head over to the pumpkin hugging if you like.
Jhasda just pats Titus on the back and said, "It's okay. You couldn't have used the arrows anyway."
I was holding back, don't worry.
So you
All right.
wander through the party, and you head over to this little area kind of fenced off, and you see immediately these stumps of wood with pumpkins on them, and there's like different sets of them for each contestant. There's 3 pumpkins, and they kind of go like small to big, but you also see like the mush and the rind and the broken chunks of pumpkin all over the ground as well. And right away you can tell this is basically a pumpkin crushing contest there for that. So you can head in and go ahead and kind of take a spot as they get ready for the next game. The officiant here explains the rules. Basically, you start with the smallest one. It basically is a strength check to crush that. And if you do, you move on to the next one. Whoever finishes all 3 pumpkins first is the winner.
All right. Sounds good.
Titus, would you like to participate?
I'll hang back. I'll sit down and just cheer on my friend.
Okay, so I'll have you, Jasper. You can play the NPC that will participate. So this will be. I will allow athletics as well.
Good. I'm proficient.
Little boost there. So you step in, and the officiant goes and places a signal. So it's really just a head-to-head, Jhasda, and signals to start with that first attempt. So go ahead and make your athletics checks.
That will be a 19.
Very nice.
6.
Okay. So Jhasda, you step up and just grab this pumpkin and just bursts, and the seeds and the goop and it just burst out all over. This was nothing. It was so easy for you to do, and immediately you just step over to the next one. Jasper over there is this other individual is working on the first one and squeezes, and there's a big heavy like crack that goes up the pumpkin, but it does not completely break, and the officiant calls out and says, "Not yet, you have to keep going." So you remain on that first pumpkin for now. So he goes and signals to continue going for the next one. So go ahead and make your next attempt. As Jhasda, you move on to that second pumpkin, which has grown in size, so it's getting a little more difficult.
That one's only a 9.
Okay.
17.
All right, Jasper, just with that crack, crush this pumpkin into bits. Just immediately falls apart, allowing you to move on to the next one. Jhasda, unfortunately, sorry, what did you say?
9.
9, yeah, okay. So you get a crack into this pumpkin, but you can tell like this one was definitely a little bit harder than the other one. So it is begin to crack and sever, but you have to give it another try. So once again, make your checks.
Another 9.
16.
Okay. Next to you, Jhasda, you see your opponent step forward, first attempt on this next pumpkin, and surprisingly crushes it in one go, just enough. There's just that struggle, and then bursts, and it just falls to pieces all at the floor before them, and allowing them to step over to the third and final pumpkin. Yourself, Jhasda, however, you go and it's right there. Like the crack is like all the way around the pumpkin, but the insides are holding it together. You just, in pure frustration, you have not been able to get through this one more attempt is going to break this, but very frustrated that it did not come through. So we move to that final round. Well, not final round, but the next round as Jhasda continues on the second pumpkin, and Jasper, you work on pumpkin 3.
If I may, this guy, I think he's a bit of a glory hound. He's going to use this round to rile up the crowd to be cheering for him.
Okay.
Rather than... Because he thinks he can still beat her.
Okay, so kind of, tortoise in the hair, like,
With 2 really good back-to-back ones, he's...
So give me a
cheering
performance
for him.
check for that. I love it.
5.
Okay. All right, so... Yeah, I'm going to say while you're doing that, the crowd doesn't really get on your side, but it definitely, takes this full round, so it allows Jhasda to do. Jhasda, you actually go ahead and roll. Go ahead and make your next roll here.
That is...
As long as it's more than 5. Okay.
14.
Yep. Yeah, so you finally crush the rest of this pumpkin and get to move to the next one. So you step over there and you see that this other individual is like trying to pump up the crowd, and he's covered in pumpkin bits and maybe just getting more jeers from the crowd than cheers and whatnot. But now both of you step up to the final pumpkin, large. You almost can barely get your arms around the things. But both of you pick those up and go to make that final attempt at crushing this final pumpkin.
All right. 21.
Nice.
8.
Jasper? 8? Okay. Jasper, you got ahead of yourself, and you go and squeeze this pumpkin, barely getting your arms around it. And it cracks a little bit, but not much. You realize you have much... But as you're going, you just hear this next to you, and chunks of pumpkin just go everywhere as Jasta, you just, maybe out of frustration that you took so long on the middle one, just destroy this other one, and the pieces go everywhere in one go, then making you the winner of the contest.
Jasta just does sort of a loop around the area, just like hands raised, and like she's trying to like hype up the crowd now.
Titus is going to help, because immediately he's going, Jasta.
The crowd definitely follows along, and a little bit of that comeback story, and maybe was like, oh, this other one's being a little boastful and whatnot. That's not going to work out for him, and sure enough, it didn't. And so that little bit of a comeback story was pretty great to see, and everyone is very excited, cheersing with their ales and otherwise, and celebrating all of that. The officiant then comes over and awards you, Jasta, with which one was this? Okay, awards you with a potion, and tells you that this is a potion that it has one use, but as a bonus action you can take it, and it allows you advantage on all grapples for 1 minute.
That's great.
Nice.
So that is your reward for the pumpkin hugging contest there. So with that, the two of you, then can head off and, maybe try out some other games or get some food, some further drink, things like that. Conversing with the crowd. And a little bit later on in the evening, you hear a little bit of a rustling, and then hustle and bustle as there's some cries out from the far side of the party grounds. And a halfling runs forward and says, "There's an ogre! An ogre taking over the supply tents! Please, someone help!"
I draw my sword immediately.
Jasta is just like on her feet running.
There's a big reaction from the crowd, and they kind of do look to the both of you, knowing that you're, these experienced adventurers. The halflings certainly weren't really ready for anything like this, and so they definitely allow you to do your thing and go investigate, as they kind of also take care of, their own, the children and other things like that. And you see that the individual. Miss Toffin, we'll say, that had greeted you at the beginning, comes by as you are heading up, says, "Please, can you go investigate? I will get everyone to safety, and we will come and assist if we need after. But please help save the festival."
I just nod.
Jasta does not even respond, is running toward that direction.
Before I run in that direction, I want to take a quick look around and see if I can see the guy who won the archery competition.
Give me a perception check.
That is 11 plus... I don't think I'm 2, 13.
Okay. There is chaos.
Yeah.
There's, halflings everywhere and other partygoers and whatnot. It's really tough. You can't make them out, unfortunately.
In that case, I just follow her.
Okay.
And I'm faster, so I can catch up easily.
Okay. Awesome.
And as soon as Jasta sees the ogre, she's gonna drink the grapple potion.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that on the way. Absolutely. So you down that. It tastes great. Great little concoction there. And you run over. This other section of the party here that you see there's these like kind of somewhat raised platforms. They're, some of them 5 feet or so above the ground, but pretty easily accessible to get to. But you see in one of them, there's a large fire in the middle of it burning there. And then the side platforms where there's these tents. And as they mentioned, you can see some of the crates and other supplies that are coming out of some of those tents, but basically just food storage and other things for the party, for them to see and have as supplies. So with that, let's roll initiative, everybody. Ooh. That is a straight dexterity check, isn't initiative, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while. What do we got? Jhasda?
That is a 17.
Okay, and Titus?
I'm realizing
15.
Okay.
I am realizing perhaps I made a mistake with Jhasda and Jasper.
All right, so that means Jhasda, you are at the top. Titus right behind, so good there, both running forward to get right in the action. And then the ogre, who is really, you see this large grizzly-looking creature that has stumbled up onto the thing. And it's not even really noticed you yet. It's just rummaging through one of the tents, clearly here maybe for food or something, and just to cause chaos as you rush in. So with that, Jhasda, you are up.
All right. Are there is there anything one, can I get to it from where I am?
We'll say that, we'll say initiative started where everyone is on the map right now. Mm-hmm. So it looks like distance there is about 30 feet or so. Yeah, because you probably have standard 30-foot movement.
Yep.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
So if I got to, let me use the pointer. If I got to here, I could.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That looks to be about. Yeah.
Is there anything on the way that I could grab as a weapon, like a log from the fire, or a barrel, or anything like that?
I like the fire log here. Let's do a. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Okay. Let's see. 8.
Okay. So you reach down and you grab, just like thinking you need to have something to rush forward towards this ogre and hit with it. Not wanting to utilize your own weaponry yet for whatever reason, but you reach down and grab it in the fire, just instinctually needing something, and you do. You grab up and you run forward. Titus, you see Jhasda holding up this torch, basically. But Jhasda, what you don't realize is that thing is hot as hell. So you're going to take 2 points of damage from the fire.
Okay.
And what are both of your HP levels, by the way?
That's very good.
Currently 32.
Okay.
I'm 24.
Okay. All right. So yeah, 2 points is it burns, but you kind of like this adrenaline and going on, but you hold on to it. I guess, would you hold on to it, or maybe?
I think she would hold on to it.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So you just you continue to hold on to this and rush forward with this burning, basically log from that fire as you rush towards the ogre.
And when she gets there, the ogre, so she takes the log and just sort of whacks the ogre with it.
Okay.
And because Jhasda is, she has her canvas full of pole arms, but she sort of learned fighting as a tavern brawler. So that is a 19 to hit.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. That will definitely hit. And go ahead. I've got a club here, simple club damage for 1d4 bludgeoning damage. So go ahead, roll that, add your proficiency to it, of course. And then also roll an extra d4 for fire damage.
Okay.
Basically 2d4 plus your proficiency.
Plus proficiency or plus strength?
Strength for damage.
It's strength, you're right, yep. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I rolled 2 4s, so
Nice.
that'll be 12 damage to start.
Awesome.
And
Solid hit.
And I think immediately after that, like, she hits it and then drops the log, and as a bonus action, because she's a tavern brawler, she's gonna try and grapple the ogre.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and that's opposed athletics. So yours is athletics. Of course, you have advantage, so go ahead and roll that. And then no skills on my end, so just a strength check.
Oof.
But
Well,
he's a little
that's
strong.
A 14.
With advantage?
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, okay. Not good here, though. A 9 on my end. So you rush forward, and you come down with this burning log and just hit against the ogre's not really paying attention. You know, it was focused on the tent, so he gets caught off guard and comes down, and it hits, just the bludgeoning of it hits, but then it kind of splinters and the burning embers scatter and catch the little bit of crude covering that the ogre is wearing, and some of that kind of catches flame a little bit, causing some burning as well. And then you just drop that there, and now the ogre then turns and lets out a heavy roar into your face, and you go in for a grapple with it. It's pretty big size, but still, you get up there, and you are able to, get a hold on maybe one of the arms really tightly, holding into it as it winces from that initial pain.
And she just yells, "Pumpkin hugging champion!"
Love it. All right. With that, Titus, you are up.
So, are these on different levels, these wooden platforms?
No.
So,
No, just
no.
for simplicity, no. There's, we'll say 5 feet up, to that north there where you both kind of came in, this area here, little bit, say it's a little bit of like a ramp up. But we'll say they're all equal level,
Yeah.
all the platforms, but there's a 5-foot drop from each of them.
I'm going to sprint around here, which I can make because I'm very fast. Pulling out, raising my longsword, and going for a downward sweep on him with both hands. So that's nat 20.
Nice.
So that's good.
Very nice.
That's double my D10 damage. A 3 and a 10, 13 plus 2. So
15 total?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great hits out of the gate.
So Titus sprints round, raising his sword, comes in with a bit of a spin to slice right across its arm, right where Justice grabbed it. So right on the shoulder blade. And as he slices off a substantial chunk, he says, "Second place in archery."
Love it. So you come in and you see, Jhasda just holding tight this arm, pulling it out, outward for this just great target. Allows you, Titus, to come down, and just this heavy, just blood squirts out from the gap, the heavy gaping wound there. It doesn't sever it, but it is a significant cut into the ogre, and the ogre writhes in pain
And then
there.
quick flurry, bonus action, just punch it in the nose. As it
Okay.
looks around. Probably doesn't hit on a, 14?
14 does hit.
Oh, cool. 14 and 4, 6, 10 damage. Sorry.
10.
6 damage.
6 damage. Okay. All right. making good work of the ogre as it is wincing in pain and looks down, snarling. You just take that opportunity for a little bit of a sucker jab up, hit it in the face. It shakes that off, even though still in pain, and then looks down, a little bit of blood coming, but looks at the both of you and lets out another roar and reaches back and pulls out a heavy club that he had with him, and then looks down and is going to go ahead and just swipe. I think it's going to swipe at you, Titus.
Makes sense.
Really frustrated at both of you, but he's going to go and just a heavy whack towards you. So, oh, come on, dice. That's a 9 to hit.
No, as he swings around, I backflip over it.
The club comes in, and also with Jhasda holding onto the other arm, takes his balance off, and the club comes in and goes for a sweep, but unfortunately isn't going to connect. Will rear back, and this time try and come down onto Jhasda with another attack. Oh my gosh, a 4 for a 10. Probably not going to hit.
Not even close.
So you see that the club is coming down. You just kind of wrench the arm out of the way. That throws off that attempt to club as well and get out of the way there. With that, we go back to the top. Jhasda.
Okay, well, because I'm grappling him, I feel like, and I am trained in the unarmed fighting style, I get to just deal, 4 more damage to him.
Okay.
And now I think just for my movement, he is really big. I don't know how much movement I can spend doing this, but I want to try and just drag him over sort of this direction.
Okay.
It'll just be half your speed.
Yeah, I think that's general grapple movement, yeah?
Yep.
Is there any issue with size there, Jasper? I don't think so,
No,
right?
you can grapple something one size or smaller.
Awesome.
One size
Okay.
larger or smaller.
Yeah, so you can move that. Titus, you kind of moved out of the way, but we'll say that, for this purposes, definitely can move the ogre around there. So it'll be 3 squares you would be able to move, Jhasda. Yep, like that.
And
move,
then-
yeah.
Yeah. And then now I'll take my action, and I'm just gonna hit him again.
Okay.
I'm just going to, I don't have anything on hand, I'm just gonna punch him.
All right.
And that is a 12.
That will just hit.
Oh, it will.
It
Okay.
will, yeah.
And because she's not holding anything right now, Jhasda punches with a D8.
Okay.
And that's
Kind of holding an ogre, but
I swear I'm not punching dice.
straight 8 points.
Well, I rolled an 8, so that'd be 12 again.
12 more, man. Okay. This thing is looking rough. So you drag the ogre across. You got that arm that's got a massive gouge in it, and it has to go with you as you pull it, and it moves towards the center of the platform there. And then you stop in your position, and then just rear up with a heavy fist up towards underneath its chin, connecting with the very significant blow. Is that your full turn?
Yeah.
Okay, and then over to Titus. This thing is not looking good at all.
No, so I'm just, again, wheeling around, doing like sort of an upward cut along the rib cage, I guess,
Okay.
with my two-handed sword for 12 to hit.
12 will hit.
And 5 plus 2, 7 damage.
Okay.
And then again, I'm just gonna do a quick jab, this time directly into the wound I've just made, for again a nat 20.
Oh, man, yeah.
That was 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6.
Yeah. How do you take him out?
Okay. So yeah, I make this wound along his side of him. I punch in, and I actually get to a rib. and I'm gonna just push it with both hands, and it slides into his heart.
Okay.
And just
Gnarly.
that's
Love
quite a
it.
brutal, yeah, quite a brutal finishing move. I just grab that with with one hand and this.
As Jhasda, you're there holding on to the arm, and again, kind of like stabling the ogre. And Titus comes around with the heavy slash again across the chest, and then just almost jabbing with a punch, but going into the chest of the ogre. And you just hear this like crunch and squelch from inside, as the ogre does let out this like attempted a yell in pain, but it's just gurgle as blood, fills up all its airways immediately. And then slowly, then with a heavy thud, falls to the surface of the platform there. And with that comes a heavy silence. You can hear in the distance a calm and a buzz as halflings seem to kind of ascend on the area, murmuring, but then realizing that seems that you have dealt with the situation. And cheers begin to kind of slowly at first, but then erupt loudly as they all come to celebrate your victory over this intruder.
Yeah, I'm gonna step onto the body and raise the bloody fist in the air, holding the rib. Why not? I've pulled the rib out with me.
Just
Bask
sort
in
of
the cheers.
looks around and like tries to find the woman who sort of
The
welcomed
leader of
us.
the party,
Yeah.
Miss Toffin, I think it was, something like that.
Yes. And she's just like, are you gonna want the ogre for anything, or can I just like, do you want to just throw him over the edge, or what's the deal here?
She looks at you a little confused, not really sure what what you mean by that, and says, "We can handle cleanup, but if you have other ideas, certainly. This was this is your trophy."
Oh no, I was just gonna toss him. Like, she just like points back at like the edge of the platform.
She kind of nods, says, yeah, that's one way to handle it."
All right. She drags after Titus is done posing. She just sort of
It takes a while.
drags the ogre over and just like heaves it off. All right, that's the forest's problem now.
Little bit of a flourish as you kind of almost spin with the ogre and then launch it off, and there's this big like, you just see all of the crowd just like ooh, watching it like fly across. And then this heavy thud as it crashes into some brush and other foliage there in the forest. Immediately the halflings come out and investigate any damage that was sustained from the attack. But really, it sounds like everyone gets back to that party pretty quickly, knowing that situation is resolved. And Miss Toffin, with some others, then kind of escorts you back to the main party area to celebrate and say that really this party is a little bit, about you, as well for helping out to save the day.
I'm just gonna spend the whole time now just hanging out with all of the halflings who are bigging me up and telling me I'm great. And just really trying to like keep this hype going as long as I can with the rib. That's like a fun like party prop, I guess.
Jhasda is very much like, when she was doing contests, she was like sort of hyping it up, but now she's very much trying to do she sort of remembered, oh yeah, I'm a paladin, all in a day's work, of course, yeah. Very like trying to be humble. It's not natural to her.
Absolutely. The night continues. You are very celebrated. Titus may be getting that second attempt at the archery contest as well. Jhasda maybe trying out some of the other games or whatnot, and just being celebrated, having a good time, and the night goes long into the early morning, to when you depart and head off to your next adventure. So, good stuff, everyone. That was fantastic. That was a good lesson for the GM on encounter balance there. That was great. So,
I mean, to be fair, I think I rolled max damage on literally every die I rolled.
Those
we did keep critting as well. So
yeah, crits, awesome damage. I mean, my end I didn't hit my attack, so that didn't help. But that was good stuff. Great fun. So, thank you everyone for checking this out. I want to say hello to these players again as well. So, Aaron, let's go to you. Say hello, and if there's anything else you want to share, any projects or anything that you're doing, let us know.
Yeah, I'm Aaron. I make tabletop games and Dungeons and Dragons stuff. So check out Firmament on itch, and yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. This is great. Looking forward to check that stuff out. And Jasper, say hello again.
Hey, I was Jasper playing Titus. I'm a short fiction author and I make tabletop games as well. You can find links to all of that really on my Twitter. Search Jasper James McGreevy on Vocal to get my stories. And Jasper is writing on itch to get my games.
Awesome. Great to have you as well. I have been your GM, Todd Moonbounce. Thank you everyone for being here. If you'd like to participate in another class of Actual Play Academy, please reach out. I'm going to have more of this out very soon, a little bit more of a public reaching aspect for you to join. This was a blast. Just to give you a little rundown, before this gameplay session, the three of us talked about expectations, etiquette, things like that for being on an actual play. Both Jasper and Aaron have a lot of gameplay experience, but not in this format. So we just kind of went over things that I've learned through my experience and shared that knowledge so that they can go forward and be confident in applying to other actual plays, putting them on themselves or anything like that. So hoping that it becomes a useful platform to others out there that want to get into the hobby, to that aspect of the hobby. So love telling stories with people like this online, and hopefully see you there as well. So of course, I am Todd Moonbounce. Find me on Twitter at Todd Moonbounce, Twitch Todd Moonbounce, most everywhere, YouTube as well, for things like this, other great actual plays as well. So we'll see you all in next class. Have a good one. Bye-bye.